A developer woke up to an alert at 3 a.m. His OpenAI bill was climbing. Not because he'd built something wrong exactly. He'd built an agent, a piece of software designed to think through problems on its own. And the agent was thinking very, very hard. By the time he caught it, the bill was in the tens of thousands of dollars. There's a documented case of someone losing $82,000 in 48 hours after an API key was compromised. But what makes this story different isn't the fraud case. It's that the agent chase wasn't fraud. It was just the product doing what it was designed to do, thinking and billing you for it. A token is roughly 3/4 of a word. When OpenAI launched GPT-3's API in 2020, they priced usage by the token. The most powerful model costs 6 cents per 1,000 tokens. That sounds small. It is small, until it isn't. By 2023, GPT-4 launched at $30 per million input tokens, $60 per million output tokens. The output costs twice the input, because generating text is more compute-intensive than reading it. Today, those prices have fallen dramatically. GPT-4o is 95% cheaper than GPT-4 at launch. Claude, Gemini. The whole market has moved down. But here's what happened at the same time. Use cases exploded. Context windows got bigger, so every conversation got heavier. Agents got built. Software that thinks in loops, calling the model over and over and over. The token got cheaper, but we started using unimaginably more of them. There's something structurally strange about token pricing. Output tokens cost more than input tokens. On most major models, about 4 to 5 times more. The reasoning is technical. Generating each word requires the model to run complex calculations, one token at a time. But that technical reality creates a financial reality. A longer response is more expensive for you and more revenue for the provider. Google noticed this. In a developer blog post, they announced their models had been tuned to produce shorter default outputs, 5 to 20% more concise, because it reduces costs. They framed it as a feature for the customer, which means the opposite was also true. The previous version was more verbose than it needed to be. There's an entire discipline now called prompt engineering that's partly a cost-saving exercise, removing redundant examples, cutting filler, asking explicitly for concise answers. Some practitioners report reducing token usage by 70% with no loss in quality. You are doing manual labor to reduce your bill, and that bill is going to someone. AI agents are designed to think in loops. You give them a task. They think about it, use a tool, check the result, think again. LangChain, one of the most popular agent frameworks, describes this explicitly. The agent runs in a loop until a stop condition is met. The problem is, what if the stop condition never comes? AutoGPT, one of the early popular agent systems, had to be patched to make agents aware of their running costs because users were burning through money on tasks that were spinning in circles. In agentic workflows, one user request can trigger hundreds of model calls, and each call costs tokens. The multiplier effect is not theoretical, it's baked into the architecture. A subscription gives you a ceiling, a token meter gives you a floor. The ceiling is up to you. The price of tokens is global. One API, one pricing page, same cost whether you're in San Francisco or Lagos or Bangalore. The World Bank puts US GDP per capita at roughly $84,000. Nigeria's is around 1,000. A team burning 100 million output tokens a month, not unusual for a production AI product, pays roughly $1,000 in output costs at current GPT-4o pricing. That's a rounding error for a US startup. It's a significant portion of annual income in much of the world. The meter does not care where you live, but the meter hits very differently depending on where you are. We've built a pricing model for innovation, but the price assumes a particular zip code. Gartner predicts that at least 30% of generative AI projects will be abandoned after proof of concept by the end of 2025. One reason cited, cost escalation. Another, unclear business value. McKinsey found that while many companies see benefits at the use case level, only 39% reported measurable enterprise-level impact. Deloitte found that just 15% of organizations using generative AI, so they've achieved significant measurable return on investment. We can measure tokens to 6 decimal places. We are billing with extraordinary precision. We can't always tell if it worked. Part 1 ended with a promise. We replaced the installation horror with something cleaner. Part 2 is what came next. We replaced the flat feed with a meter. And the meter runs on Clinkty. In the 1990s, software was something you could own. You bought it. You kept it. It sat on the shelf. In the 2000s, software became something you rented. A monthly fee, always on, never fully yours. Now, in the age of AI, we've moved further. You don't pay for the tool. You don't even pay for the thought. You pay for the attempt. If we're paying for thinking, who exactly gets paid when the thinking doesn't work?